Yo, 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 what is up? What is up? What is up? We are here today. We got a game in a few days. Obviously, it's a Monday night game against Seattle in Seattle. It's been a crazy week this week, and I've been going back and forth with Eagle fans all week. Not everybody, but obviously there's been a mix-up in because the Eagles are in this situation, fans are just getting crazy. And sometimes it's just one of those things where, like, if I say something that's my pure opinion, a lot of hate, and that's fine because that's what comes with when you talk about a team that's struggling. And, you know, I feel like with this 10-3 record, the 10-3, just that overlay that says 10-3, I feel like it's just a big kick in the balls right now because I feel like people look at the record and they say, oh, we'll be fine. There was a lot of shit this week that happened that really didn't sit with me well. I don't think the coaching staff took accountability, at least to the public, they didn't. Maybe behind the scenes, they actually did. The players seem to be wanting to kind of rev this thing up and kind of want to put it behind them. I see the players doing more than the coaches this week, and I'm hoping, it's more balance between both sides. Nick didn't really impress me too much with his press conference. BrianJohnson didn't. Sean Desai really didn't. Nick kind of just said, hey, just because something doesn't work, it doesn't mean that I'm not going to stray away from it, meaning like doing the same thing he's been doing every single game. If this is around his game plan every single week, you know what I mean? I feel like this is a, do or die week right now. And that's just me. I feel like, because really at the end of the day, like, even if you win this game, and depending how they win it, and depending if they can actually play a full 4 quarters of not perfect football, but productive football. Looking at certain plays and what we've seen so far, it's questioning. So I'm going to get shit regardless of what I say. That's just what it is. So that's the way it goes. But I'm here for you guys. I'm here for myself as well because I want to hear what you guys have to, if you have any thoughts on this week. How do you feel now by the end of the week? I know the last 2 weeks have been kind of crazy. But yeah, definitely let me know what you guys think. I want to thank everybody for coming in the chat. We got Logan Motorsports, Super Bowl 52. We got Nathan Hoffman. We got Mayor Slime. What's going on, Mayor Slime? What's going on, man? He says, I don't see the issue with Hurts doing ball security drills. At least he's trying to fix the issue with Wentz. Is always, I'm a better, play better, and never took the same fix to messing with deers. No, I get it. I totally get it. And I hope what they're doing does work. I hope it does work at the end of the day. I'm hoping it's not a bad thing. I'm hoping whatever they're doing, whether it's ball security or whatever the case may be, hopefully it works. It's just, I just feel like, and yes, 3 turnovers in a game. Now, take those turnovers back. Would it made a difference? I don't know. I don't know if they would have won the game even without the 3 fumbles. Did the 3 fumbles hurt? Yeah, it definitely did. But even BrianJohnson talked about some things as well, which I really was kind of like, I feel like he was blaming the players from that game. And yes, the players have to have blame in that game. But what about the other weeks? I mean, what's the other weeks? You know what I mean? So, Chris says he sure loves to stray away from the run. It seems like it. Nathan says, I don't know, man. With size divide, there have been winners and losers. What the fuck happened? That's because there's a lot of fans out there. And look, I respect everybody's decision on what they think about the season, if they have faith or not, Matt says, I bet going to start pass happy by per usual, which would tell me I need to know Monday night. What's going on, Nathan? Marcus Polk, what's going on, man? Appreciate House Cat. Dylan says, Joe, I think you've given up on the season, which is sad. I'm not giving up. If I was giving up, I would tell you I gave up on the season. I might say that things aren't working out right now, but I never said in a video that I have given up. I am done this year. I'm done with certain things with this team, but I'm not done on the season because there's still 4 games to play. and you still have the playoffs. But is there enough time to turn it around? I'm really more on the Seth Joyner bandwagon, pretty much, of where, is this team fool's gold? I don't really agree with that too much, because I feel like it takes a lot of heart and a lot of diversity for an offense, especially Jalen Hurts, to put the team on his back for a lot of weeks, to dig yourself out of a hole that you've been in. But I feel like defensively, I feel like every position has no value because they're being used the wrong way. But from a defensive coordinator that doesn't know how to make changes, and our offenses look the same every single week. So, Star Force, the problem with defense Philly has not been Jonathan Gannon, but rather a system that carried over this year. Yeah, and I feel like maybe Jonathan Gannon knows how to run the system a lot better than Sean Desai, and that's probably another problem with the defense too. You know what I mean? Ray says they've been posting all season. It's the lack of coordinators' experience. We knew that in training camp, and the lack of athleticism and secondary youth talent was not replaced. No, but I feel like you could have helped your roster, and it's not a bad roster defensively. Obviously, you had injuries before the season started with Zach McPherson, and you had a lot of issues at nickel corner with Avonte Maddox being out. But it's still a good roster. It's still a very great roster when it comes to this defense. But yeah, when you bring in a new defense, and trust me, it's unheard of. We're 10-3 right now, and you have two brand new coordinators, which is telling me that the roster is really bailing out the coaches on top of like subpar plays. And that's just been what it is. Spiegel says, do you hear what Slay said on this podcast? Yeah, I mean, I don't know why he feels like he has to defend himself. Like he really played well the last two games. Like he played well last week against the Cowboys. He played really well. But I don't get why he has to defend himself or make his profile picture on Twitter like the garbage cans that fan was stupid that went out there and did that. The first time it was fine with the one poster that said run the ball, and that was it. Which we still fucking didn't. After all that, which we still didn't. But Chris says Nick needs to stabilize season this Monday, or he could be out of a job very soon. See what happened to Doug. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me, dude. It wouldn't surprise me if he's fired after this year. It wouldn't. Because they already did it to our Super Bowl winning head coach. Jeffrey Lurie is always going to pick Howie Roseman over anybody. Okay. But Howie Roseman needs to make some changes too, to where we need some new blood in this coaching staff. We'll see how it goes. And obviously need to get younger at certain positions and need to change the philosophy of how we draft a little bit at certain positions as well. And I think that's really important too. You know what I mean? So we'll see. Matt said, I haven't been watching the press conferences really at all since the loss to Dallas. I've been watching it because I need to find out things. If I wasn't making videos and I was just not on YouTube at all, I probably wouldn't even watch any of it, to be honest with you. If I was just not doing any of this, probably wouldn't. Kay with the super chat. Thank you so much, man. It says, Mondays we get back on track. Coaches need to step up this week, unleash this talent. Damn it. Anyway, you the man, Joey. Much love. I appreciate it so much, Cade. Yeah, dude, like, I'm supporting this team the rest of the season. I haven't given up on this team, but the last 2 weeks really just more has to go on, man. More has to happen. It's not enough. I mean, I feel like the players have taken more accountability this week, even though they should, but they shouldn't. The coaches should take more than the players, because I feel like this this roster is set up to fail at times. And I really, really don't like it. Appreciate the super, Cade, very much. Nate says, I hope sending Jalen into a dirt on his knee isn't a watershed moment. No, I mean, it's just putting him in a drill. I don't think it's anything like they're punishing him or something like that. Or it's just, I rarely see Jalen Hurts carry. If he's scrambling, I rarely see Jalen Hurts protect the ball with both hands, like ever. Ever. I don't think I've ever seen it, to be honest with you. I'd be surprised. Obviously, if it's like on a brotherly shove or something, it's a different story, but we'll see. Tari Eargle says, hey, Joey, I had no clue we cleaned house on our coaching staff after the Super Bowl. We replaced 11 guys with coaches and who was still wet behind the ears with no real experience. Shocking. I mean, that's what they did. And then, we're 10-3 right now. I mean, I wouldn't expect, you had the roster to do great things, but I think lack of experience has really hurt this team. And I think Sirianni having too much control over who he hired, because Howie had final say in the hirings. Okay. We all know this, and I hope we all know this. Okay. Nick hired his own guys. Promoting from within has been probably one of the biggest mistakes we've been doing. I hate promoting from within. This is why so many coaches, before Nick even got here, there were so many coaches that just didn't want to come here because of just control of what to run and Howie Roseman, how things are done in Philadelphia with the front office. I think that's a lot of head coaches didn't want to be here. You got Nick Sirianni Frank Reich was the main reason Sirianni was here. Frank Reich's word is the reason why he's here. And Sean Desai is a pure hiring to, which defensive coordinator can really get this defensive system going. We need to see who can run Jonathan Gannon's system, and they got it. I think Howie has to change, and if Howie changes, then Nick's going to change. But it's all up to Howie at the end of the day. I don't think this is purely Nick. I think it is Howie letting Nick do. And Nick feels like that they're not going to stray away from anything. That press conference was absolutely ridiculous. At least if I heard Nick say something like, hey, like, I got to change the play calling. Like, this is not good. We gotten away with a lot of stuff this year, and we played some tough games this year, but I have to change the way I play call. Or if I heard something like that, then I would be like, okay, well, at least it's going in the right direction. But just seemed like he was just like, hey, well, we're going to run what we want to run, and that's it. I'm not straying away from what I'm doing. It's going to work. It's like he's still promising himself that things are going to work, when I'm hoping they do, but not in the same fashion you've been doing it. Leo says other teams teach players how to protect the ball by using box gloves and punch players in the arm while they run. Poking Jalen with a stick looks so weak. I looked at it and I got so much crap in that video. I got so much crap from that video. People were actually like, dude, like, have you ever played football? I was like, I don't know, because to be honest with you, back in the day, we used to have a bunch of people just try to rip the fucking ball out from your hands. That's what we had. Because human strength, arms and hands is different than a string on a football. Yeah, I guess the string on the football could work at some moments. But poking you with like a stick isn't going to do much for me. As for realism of someone stripping the ball out, no. To me, that's not even close similarities. Chris says 10-3 can't become 10-5 really effing fast. Win Monday. And just think of it like this. The Giants might not be, and it sounds stupid, but the Giants might not be as easy as everyone expects. You can only lose so much, okay? The Giants are literally one game outside the wild card. One. The Giants could actually make the fucking playoffs. Like, that's where we're at. That's where we're at. The Giants can actually make the playoffs. It's fucking insane, dude. It's insane. Can the Eagles beat Kyler Murray? I don't. These until I see them play Monday night, that's really going to tell us where their heads are at. You get your ass beat. You got shitted on 2 times in 2 weeks. You got embarrassed at home. The 49ers talked the talk and they walked the walk. And the Dallas Cowboys just destroyed you. This is a do or die week. On Monday Night Football, this game was flexed. This was originally a 4:30 game on Sunday. We would have had a game in a couple of days. Now it's a Monday night. It's like I hear people, we could beat the Giants. We could, I'm just like, dude, like, how do you know that? How do you know that? Like, don't take these winless teams or these teams that have bad records lightly, because these teams are the most dangerous teams. And when they feel like they're out of it, they will ruin it for another team. And it's happened to us in previous seasons. where we control our own destiny and we shoot ourselves in the foot multiple times. This team's going into the playoffs. There's no doubt about it. But just because everybody's just settling for getting to the playoffs, just getting there. I want to win, dude. Like, I don't want to get into the playoffs and get embarrassed. If I feel like we're going to get embarrassed, don't be in the playoffs at all. Don't even show up to the playoffs if you feel like you're going to get embarrassed at this point. Yeah, dude, Tommy Cutlets, man. Tommy Cutlets. Ray said, yes, promoting from within, good only if the talent is real. It wasn't. Tar Eagle says, with all the money we were paying Jeff Stoutland, how come he doesn't have a bigger impact on play calling? I don't know. I know he's what? He's the offensive line coach and he's the run game coordinator, I think. I honestly don't know. I'm not sure. Leo says we lost the Jets. Don't count the Giants out anytime. No, I mean, yeah, I believe it. I mean, I think they overlooked the Jets. I think they totally overlooked them. Plus, they sat out they overlooked the Jets and they sat out like 5-6 guys for that game. And we were out a lot of starting players in that game, especially on the defense, which really hurt us. But our offense didn't play good. Jalen Hurts didn't play good. And you would have figured, hey, we need to turn things around. And they did. They won the next few games. I mean, they played well after that. But, things only last for so long. DJ said, what's your thoughts on Penny being elevated? Could be false reports, but I'm hopeful it holds true. We need to go back to the run. I would love for Penny to play and be in red zone and just be that big back. This way, Hurts is not taking a lot of hits, and I think that's another issue as well because of the injury he has. I blame the coaching staff for that, how they ran him beginning of the season. But yeah, like if Rashad, I said after the bye week, I said by the bye week or after the bye week, if Rashad Penny's not on the field, then literally the Eagles feel like he has no talent. Why he's here, I have no idea, but I guess they feel like he's just not good enough. I don't know how to take it. You have 4 running backs for the year. You have a big back in Penny that has a pretty good reputation, and he's beyond healthy right now, doing absolutely nothing, getting a paycheck just to sit on the sidelines or not even be dressed at this point. But I guess they think he's not good. I mean, if you don't play a guy, then what am I supposed to think? What is the reason? Because I don't have it. Chris says when you start 10-1, the playoffs isn't enough. No, it doesn't matter. Once you get to the playoffs, it's a clean slate. Like that's it. Like the regular season don't matter after that. Like how you got there doesn't matter. But the only good thing that they can go into the playoffs with is because teams have somewhat of a blueprint on the Eagles and what they run, because the Eagles only play like 1 of 10 plays, really. Their playbook isn't that big because we haven't seen too much. They have a chance to really change things up and really make a difference if they want. They could change the whole play calling. They could do so much with these players and how to use these players. Infinite Posture says making the mistakes and losing is okay, but if we don't see improvements within the next week or two, it'll take firings to change. I don't know if I don't think it's going to be 2 weeks, dude. I feel like if they lose against Seattle, if they get killed by Seattle, it'll be bad. If they lose by a couple points and it still doesn't look right, and they can't even get their shit together, I think it's still going to look bad, but not as bad. But if they lose next week and then and then they're playing at home against the Giants and they lose, I think it's done. I mean, I feel like something has to be done. And, firing a coordinator might not even change anything at this point. It might not. I don't know. I felt like there should have been a midseason fire. I felt like there should have been. Just because that happens, it doesn't mean things get better or things are going to get fixed immediately. But I've seen a couple teams do it this year, and I felt like they were better. I thought the Bears firing their defensive coordinator, they got a lot better. I'm trying to remember who else fired a coach. I forgot. I had it on the tip of my tongue. I forgot. But it's happened. Okay, so why don't you apply for a job as an OC or DC? Because your complaints are what? You want me to fill in the blank? Because they're perfect. Because I make sense. Because I'm perfect at everything that I do. That's why. Matt says if we come past happy per usual, it's a wrap to me Monday night. Yeah. If they don't, like, because now it doesn't matter what the Eagles do. The Eagles' second half comebacks are done. Like, it's over. Like, if they do nothing in the first half of the Seattle game, then I don't know. If they can't finish drives, which they haven't done in the first half the past couple weeks, it's not going to be good. It's not going to be good. CUG says our roster is solid, both on the sides of the ball. I'm hoping Sirianni is purposely limiting our production so other contenders take us less serious. If you win Monday convincingly, I may buy this theory. Yeah, but that's what everybody's thinking. I'd be shocked if the theory is, hey, we're keeping so much in our back pocket for the playoffs, or we don't want to give everything away in our playbook. So this is why we look the way we look right now. We already have a playoff spot. We don't care for first seed. We don't even care for second seed at this point. I mean, I don't know if that's the case, but we'll see. Ryan says, who else forgot we have Julio Jones? We all know the same guy, but he's still. Yeah, I mean, no use. I mean, hasn't done anything. So, Zeke Allen says, this team is so different. What we saw in week one, think about it. They've lied to us all season and changed and still don't and still won't. Yeah, I mean, what they tell us at these press conferences now are like, it's like shit that I don't even want to hear. It's like if you're not going to stray away from what you're doing, like they got to get into another mode now. And I feel like the players are trying to actively get into that mode to whoop someone's ass next week. But then I feel like the coaching staff is going to hinder that. The coaching staff with bad play calls is going to hinder their communication and hinder their will to play the game. Simple as that. You know what I mean? TK says Jalen Hurts ran his ass off last year. Now he's got a big contract. They need to keep him safe, and I get it, but that was such a huge part of our game. I know. It's like the third element is gone. But now because he's not 100% healthy and they want to run the crap out of him, but they don't run him great anyway. I mean, third and long, you're doing a QB draw. I mean, they've done it you're not doing RPO. You're not doing enough to tire out the defense. So running play action pass nonstop, but you don't have a successful run game. You can't run play action without a successful run game anyway. You know what I mean? El Campbell says you are unqualified to make these comments regarding fire. Dude, it's an opinion. It's an opinion, dude. Everybody, I'm not the only one that's speaking kind of negative. There's a lot of Eagle fans in this chat speaking a little negative or aren't high on what's going on right now. I'm not the only one. I mean, read the chat. I mean, I'm not the only one that's pissed off over this. Trust me, like, if I was done with this team, I wouldn't even be live streaming. I wouldn't be making videos. I wouldn't even be doing any of this right now, to be honest with you. I think there is still something there. The thing is, they have the time to get things fixed. You got to take the good with the bad, dude. You can't just be all like, nobody will ever censor me. You understand? Like, I don't give a shit. Nobody. People can respect what I say, not respect what I say, whatever the case may be. I respect everybody in this chat, what they got to say, whether even your comment is what it is. Thank God I don't need to. I wouldn't even want the responsibility. But the thing is, if I was Howie Roseman, I wouldn't have made this decision to keep on the same schemes from last year just because these schemes didn't win us the Super Bowl last year. It got us to the game, but it didn't do much of anything else after that. That's just what it is. Reese says, should Eagles bring in Brand Staley and do Staley? The Eagles will corner the market with assistants named Staley. Yeah, no. I mean, hopefully that was just a joke, which obviously it was. But yeah, Brand Staley's probably going to get fired from the Chargers. Deuce Staley, I wonder where he's going to go. Be interesting. Matt's like, I realize there's a difference between being negative and keeping it realistic. That is true. That is true. Leo says we do have the talent, but the back end of the defense is kind of showing their age. We need longer players, especially corner. Well, yeah, it's showing our age because they're playing off ball and they have to be more athletic in this scheme. And we don't have the most athletic players in this scheme, especially in the secondary, especially with our two starting corners. That's pretty much where it starts. That's where it starts. I feel like Nolan Smith. I feel like Sidney Brown is playing very well the past couple weeks. I think they took him out early in that 49ers game, but I think at nickel, at safety, I think he plays really well at safety, Sidney Brown, a lot. And I feel like there's good things. I think there's a nice promising future for him because his ability just to be athletic and cover so much ground with his speed, and his tackling is really well. And there's some good things to say about it. So Mayor said Nick is a good head coach. The issues ain't so as serious. Every folks will tell him not to play. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Don't have him involved. Like, it has BrianJohnson called a full game this year? I mean, it doesn't seem like it. Star Forces Joeyshakes Brand Staley did get fired this morning. Oh, I didn't even know. Yeah, I know they were getting killed, but I didn't. I wasn't on Twitter all day today, so I don't know if he got fired or not because that's pretty embarrassing. Let's see here. Chris says Bobby Taylor and Troy Vincent would struggle in this. It doesn't matter what corner, any corner would struggle in this system because how many teams run this system? Nobody. Vic Fangio doesn't even run the system full time at times. You know what I mean? Matt says that was a legit tackle, though, regardless you blind fools want to see that or not, and that is in the past. Leave it there, dumbass. I don't know what's going on. Dank says Chargers fired their head coach and GM. Interesting. Well, I mean, look, you got a game this week where everything's on the line. And yeah, you know what? The last 2 weeks, I mean, it's not like the Eagles had they almost won in 2 close games the last couple weeks. So when people tell me to relax or calm down or I'm being too negative, it is what it is. Like, they got blown out 2 weeks straight. What, am I supposed to be okay with that? Am I supposed to be okay, well, you got embarrassed at home and then you went to Dallas and got embarrassed there. You lost against the best team in the NFL pretty much, and you got pretty much by a rival. I mean, you got your ass kicked by a rival. Dane says Nick wants us to look at the entirety of his career here. He's scared a little. He has to toe the line to remember the consequence of playing to players talking about Gannon. It's true. I mean, there was what happened was there were players going up to Gannon telling him how to use them in his system, or this is how you should use me. There was players giving Gannon feedback because he was struggling last year. So that's the way that goes. Steven G says McCarthy is calling all the plays in Dallas and San Francisco killed him. How do we know Sirianni is making all the calls? He doesn't even have a playbook. Well, it doesn't mean much of anything. It can mean that, I saw Nick have something in his hand last game. Okay. Not the whole time. Just because he's not holding a playbook, it doesn't mean anything. Because Nick can have plays incorporated in and obviously BrianJohnson's playbook pretty much. And I think that's what's been going on. It's got to be. There's no way that it's 100% real. This is true. Nick Sirianni has the game plan for the week, and they run the offense off analytics, and they don't make adjustments. Dave Spadaro just talked to fans a week and a half ago. He opened questions up for fans a week and a half ago. And somebody asked, who's running the offense? Who runs the offense? What's going on? Who is this off of? Dave Spadaro says it's off Nick 100%. Nick puts the game plan together. The coordinators piggyback off of that. And Nick infuses his own spice in the playbook, and which these coaches these coordinators have to carry out, or at least BrianJohnson has to carry out. That's how the whole thing is going. Seahawks have less talent in the trenches. Yeah, I don't think their offensive line good. Defensive line's not too bad, but their offensive line isn't fantastic either. Tiger says, what's the point of having Julio Jones if we never use him? It's crazy how we are severely allergic to RPO. Yeah. And that's what's annoying too. No doubt. They got a lot. They got a lot of shit to. I mean, you're week 15, whatever it is. I mean, you're so late in the season right now, and you're still trying to figure it the fuck out. It's not good. It's not a good sign. Outscored 75-32 past 2 weeks. Yeah, it's a problem, dude. Oh, by the way, Paul L's not an Eagles fan, by the way. Matt, everyone favor you guys at Lincoln. Who the fuck calls it Lincoln? Nobody calls it Lincoln. Idiots. P.S. Do you think Nick is going to be able to fix the problems? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I from his comments this week, it seems like he's not changing anything. I'm going off of what I heard from press conferences this week. Keenan75 says, look, straight up, we need a hard-nosed head coach and some hard-nosed DC in our coach. Yeah, I get it. They need some new blood in the building. I mean, with a different scheme. Defensive coordinator-wise, they didn't promote anybody because Sean Desai was from Seattle and obviously hasn't been a defensive coordinator since 21 with the Bears. But what we were promised in this defense, no. This offense is a top 2 offense. This is a top 2, top 3 offense, roster-wise on paper. Giving this into Nick's hands and BrianJohnson's hands, and this is on Howie Roseman to let go and start changing some things. And for them to not win a Super Bowl this year, things are going to change. Or they might not change. Robert says, thing about Seattle is they get the ball off quick. Good luck. I mean, they got JSN, they got Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf. Do you think like Slay is gonna actually tackle DK Metcalf? I don't know. Will he have a good game against him? I don't know. And DK always plays good against us. He always has this extra motivation to beat our ass. Julio is a groin. Evan says last year this defense was feared by QBs. Crazy how the narrative flipped. Yeah, no. It's definitely not that. Give Quez the ball. Yeah, that's the last thing I'm doing. I don't know, dude. Quez is done after this year. Have that man walk after this year. Nate said, what happened to is done and gone. Can this thing be put back on the rails? The want players to execute the game plan. Will it work after San Fran and Dallas exposed it? They exposed our lack of creativity because we don't. There's really between offensively where it's inside zone, post corner. I mean, go routes. I mean, bubble screen. I mean, there's really nothing creative in this offense that I notice different every week. Nothing. That's been a huge problem. It's really annoying. It really is. Chris, I want Nick to prove me wrong to win out. Make no mistake, I'll happy. No, I totally agree, Chris. I'll be the same way. If he turns this thing around at an instant, then holy shit, dude, I'll be happy. Well, Slay's been hurt. He was hurt last week too. He's had this staggering knee injury for a while, so it's not. They give him rest during the week and stuff. So, PA Sports said, "What annoys me is that the team has so much talent and potential to look this bad. Nick doesn't know how to use anybody." No, that's the biggest problem. It's crazy how we're talking about a 10-3 team, and we say this every week. Like the last couple of weeks, we're like, dude, we're 10-2, we're 10-3. Like how do we look this bad? You know. Plus, DK Metcalf gonna have 200 yards this game. He could. I want them to do, but I really do hope not. Let's see. Tom said the coaches are stuck in their ways. We're going to do anything different this week. Sucks to say it, but it's true. Not looking good for us at all. From Nick's press conference and BrianJohnson's press conference, I mean, it was pretty bad. all BrianJohnson did was blame the turnovers. He was just talking about the Cowboys game. He wasn't talking about the whole season. He was just talking about the Cowboys game. Turnovers. Oh, we were in the red zone, when you fumble in enemy territory. And, he was just blaming the players. And then Nick was like, well, just because it hasn't worked doesn't mean we're going to stray away from it. Just because it doesn't work, it's not like we're going to stray away from what we're doing. I just feel like it just felt like, fuck you. Like, we're going to run what we want to run and nothing's going to change. That's what I got from both those. That's what I got from our head coach. And that's what I got from our offensive coordinator this week. And that's the way it kind of, what it turned into, unfortunately. So until we check on the next few weeks, I don't know how this whole shit's gonna go. Because really, they lose against Seattle. It's just like, damn. It's just damn at this point. Tyree says, please check out Philly Fowler. We were on KG this offseason. They say we need for him for pass block. It seems like he doesn't fit the system. I feel like he fits this. I think we just make any running back look pretty damn good. But I don't think KG's the worst running back we have. I think he's got talent. I think he runs well behind the line, but I just feel like they overvalue him over everybody that we have. Between the 20s, they put him in the passing game. They do all this crazy shit with him like he's some dual threat running back, and he's not that. He's an average at best. With a good line in front of him, he could do well. Because I'm telling you right now, if Kenny G goes to another team, he'll be another Josh Adams. He'll be another Wendell Smallwood. He'll be another nobody somewhere else. That's what he'll be on another team. Here, he'll be a rotational prime starter. But anywhere else, he ain't going to do much of anything. I think he's got like one more year left on his deal, I think. They need him. They can't get rid of him. I mean, they can, but I don't think they're going to get rid of him regardless. Balin says, why aren't we utilizing Penny? Our entire run game is being ignored. Bad time management is also hurting us. Yeah, bad time management. Remember when the Eagles, before the Eagles had these, when the Eagles were having these second half comebacks, those moments where the Eagles had time to put a team away and they just had a bad series. There are times where the Eagles can waste so much time in the fourth quarter, could put a team away, and they never took advantage of the situation. And that's been a big problem too. Putting teams away when you don't want to make it even harder for yourself. I mean, I haven't seen a comfortable game yet this year. It's been almost the same thing every year, every game. That's just crazy how much better we looked at 10-3 last year versus this year. Oh, yeah. That's true. See here. Are the Eagles going to get Zach Ertz? I don't know. And to be honest with you, I don't think it matters. It doesn't matter what defensive players you get. It doesn't matter what offensive players you get. So it's crazy. Matt said, where's the name that called us for fair weather fans for being real? John says Swift could be used in way more than Gainwell, but speaks to dysfunction of the offense. Coaches getting in that way. Yeah. I think they're running too much off. I think the analytical shit offensively, they need to stop with that. I know the Eagles won a Super Bowl with analytics, but the difference is they made adjustments. They always made adjustments. And you had some good coaches there too. Frank Reich was a great coach. DiFilippo was a great quarterback coach. Everybody had a say in the game plan. And this shit, it's not working. It doesn't work every year. So Richie says A.J. Brown needs to give more effort on the first goal drive, work your way back through the defender to the least cause a DPI. Well, that's the one thing I can't stand with these. You're talking about red zone. I'm talking about A.J. Brown, when they just throw the ball to him on second and short. It'll be like first, it'll be like second and short or something like that. And they'll throw, you know, the Eagles can't win on first down. I mean, they really can't half the time. But when they throw these like deep balls to Quez in double coverage like they did, I mean, just shit that's like, I feel like they're either trying to get a PI call, or I don't know what they're trying to get. It's like I don't know if they're really trying to, they think that they have a catch, or they think that they're going to get a call, or they're just being lazy. You know what I mean? Steve, you said Maddox may play. He can still participate in practice. Well, he might as well sit out the rest of the year, to be honest, because what is he going to do when he comes back? Devin says this team has been New York Jets on offense with legit team. Chris says all those white knuckle wins emotionally exhausted this team, hence the lack of effort the past 2 weeks. Yeah, I mean, that's what people are. People are saying the Eagles played 3 games in 13, whatever the case was. They played too many games in 2 weeks. You know, I get it, but I don't know. Yeah, and to be honest, they kept winning these emotional type comebacks, which I felt like it. I don't know if it hurt the team in general, but Lane says the obvious problem to me is choices on 3rd and 22, 3rd and 4th, 4th and 2. I feel like putting it on the players is weak. No, it is. It is. I feel like the coaches are taking less. I feel like the coaches are taking less accountability than the players. I think the players are taking it more serious than the coaches. But when the coaches get into a game, it's going to make the players unmotivated because of the play calling. And when these drives don't pan out, that's what happens, you know? The way AJ waited for the balls fall in his lap was that a character for the 50 ball master. Chose that the Eagles won't move away from analytics. Jeffrey Lurie's son, Howie, and Howie are involved with the analytics. Lurie values them more than the coach's input. I really hope that's not true. And we'll probably never find the answers to this shit. We probably will never find the answers to it. Obviously, if they go into next season looking the exact same, then yeah, it's definitely way up top. Way in the top. Michaela Cox, what's going on? Says score predictions for Monday Night Football. I honestly have no idea. I really don't have a score until I'm not going to even put out a score until they actually win a football game. Then I'll do a score prediction if it's worthy of a score prediction. Richard said, tough love. This game versus Seahawks hurts if you fumble while scrambling. Next drive, Marcus Mariota plays that drive. Tommy says, how does Bradbury succeed with Gannon but not the Psy? I mean, I don't know. I mean, every year's different. I don't like comparing last year to this year. We got more pressures last year. We had more sacks last year. Obviously, the Eagles had 70 sacks last year. Defensive line was hitting home. The safeties were better last year. A lot was better last year. You know? Chris says analytics belong in baseball, nowhere else. But I feel like when you play your offense in analytics, your head coach doesn't have a feel for football, doesn't have a feel for the game. How do you find out what the identity of your team is when you play through analytics? That's like the big thing. That's the big thing I'm talking about. Thanks that Bradbury's being asked to play more man, doesn't have much speed, so he's getting beat. Devin says, if the offense sucks in this game again, I'm literally done. Don't be surprised if it still looks bad. Thanks to first year new coordinator and position coaches, they're getting taught different things. Showstopper says, I wish they knew how important they were to the city, but I feel like it's weird because we thrive being the underdogs historically. Yeah, I mean, the coaches, this is the coaching problem. And the problem right now is that the players are not playing. The players are not going into, they're not playing exciting football. There's no motivation. They're playing uninterested right now. I mean, that's as the game goes on and no adjustments are made, they're playing uninspired, uninterested type football. That's what's going on. So, yo, who dat? What's going on, dude? What's going on? What's going on? Alex says it's the coaches first and foremost, then the fumbles. I do think the fumbles are a symptom of morale, though. Oh yeah, as the game goes on and they're getting their asses kicked, and I feel like they try to do too much. They try to get more yards. They want to make plays. They stretch out the play too fucking much where they should just fall to the ground, and then they start fumbling the ball. Torville says, I think our system on both sides of the ball are analytics driven. The other teams know what we are running, which makes it easy for them to scheme against us. We have no unpredictability. Yeah. I think we need a coordinator that needs full control of the offense, a defensive coordinator that's more aggressive. And are we going to see a change? How much are they really going to change this playbook on both sides? How do you do that this late in the season? I mean, they could, because to be honest with you, like, what are they doing? I don't think they run more than 10 different plays in the offense. That's how predictable it is, because they don't run the football. Let's see. Forrest says we need to play to the whistle better when fumble happen. Half our team is not even looking at the ball. Ooh, Chris says we get blown out again. Nick has lost the locker room. Yeah, I think so. I think if they lose this game, I think the players are going to be done and are gonna want change. I think that's what's going to happen. PA says, what annoys me about Nick is when he knows that he's doing something wrong, and then he goes and he's like, should we do this? Yes, but we can stay away from that. Yeah, like if someone doesn't during the season is a great example where, if Devontae Smith, we need to get Devontae Smith the ball more, or Dallas Goedert needs to get the ball more, when Dallas Goedert was really not a big factor beginning of the season. He'll say all that shit, and then that's what happens. So, Alex, it really seems like a simple solution too. Tough running and quick routes for receivers. Yeah, I think they need a separate playbook for quick passes, hot routes, middle of the field. They're obviously they don't like throwing middle of the field too much, and quick runs. I mean, inside zone is the only run play we actually run. I mean, that's really it. They don't really run anything else. It's mostly inside zone most of the time. Mew says there is no chemistry on this team. They look miserable on the sidelines, even when winning. Yeah, it's true. Nick isn't going to lose the locker room. What you're talking about? Well, I mean, there's a good chance, dude. Like, players got pissed off. Like, if they get their ass handed to them a third week straight, I mean, I don't know why it's even funny. Like, you think like it's impossible for that to happen? I think it's highly likely that will happen. They get their shit pushed in for a third week. Yeah, yeah, I think so. I think they will. It's not impossible. Steven says it's not that we're underdogs in reality. We don't demo energy like Dallas, San Francisco, KC. We don't blow teams out either. That's our MO. It's true. So he says, thanks for making my point. You ain't going anywhere. Terry says, I missed that tough guy mentality we had last year with Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, a guy who wasn't afraid to attack the ball and talk shit after. Prime example of 17 Michael. Yeah, I mean, we haven't had a guy on we haven't we haven't had a guy on defense like that. So it's been kind of crazy. What is going on with the Eagles special teams? I bet the Eagles are close to a top in the NFL on just taking back a touchback. Boston Scott has been wasted. A lot of players have. A lot of players have. They says, don't want your ship pushed and eat broken glass. Huh? Alex says Andy Reid lost the last locker room, and you don't think Nick can? It could happen to any head coach. It doesn't matter. It could happen to any head coach. So Robert M says, do you think Jalen could be more of a leader on the field? There's only so much he could do, bro. I mean, how much more leading does he have to do? I think Jalen leads this team fine. It's just what comes behind it is not great. That's how it goes. Shock says, how are we first in slants but 28th in slant usage? We need to run more running back screens and curls to get the ball out and Hurts hands quicker, thus opening up for opportunity to establish an RPO attack. Yeah, and I think that obviously not running the RPOs, you're not slowing linebackers down. You can't throw middle of the field because I mean you're just not doing it enough. You're not running the ball enough. You're not running enough RPOs. You're running play action, but without play action doesn't work without a good run game. So you're running multiple play action passes. So that's not working too much. How bad do we miss? Reese says a huge special team play can wake up a struggling offense. Yeah, but dude, it's got to be more than that. Like if they don't get a good game plan going to these games, like we're gonna win games on thin ice because of a certain play that happens. No, it's just not enough. PA says, how does Nick and Sean look so happy the defense is looking so bad? They seem like they're just careless. I don't know. I mean, I'm looking at a press conference just saying, I mean, I look at how they answer questions. I look at least certain words that are used, and it just seems like we're going to run our shit the same way and nothing else matters. I mean, that's what I take out of everything from this week. Dev says, Joey, I don't blame Hurts. I blame these coaches putting it into the system. No, I agree. I blame the coaches more than the players, dude. The coaches are the main thing right now. So Chris says, who thought Doug was going to get fired? All it takes is a string of bad games. Not rooting for it either. Yeah, no, I get it. And they wanted to hire Press Taylor as the OC, and like that was it. I don't know. And it seemed like nothing was going to change because after 2020, it was just horrible, really bad. Told us that our defense puts more pressure on linebackers because our corners play off ball, which means linebackers have more ground to cover and still react to the run. Linebackers are a weak spot. Yeah, and they have to get, yeah, I mean, we can't even depend on Nakobe Dean. He's already been on IR 2 times, been hurt 3 times this year, plus missed valuable time in the offseason. You know what I mean? That's just what it is. On a brighter note, Jalen Carter, Defensive Rookie of the Year. Yeah, it looks like he's highest graded right now. So we'll see how that goes. Evidence says, I almost don't blame the players at all. With even average scheming, this team doesn't lose games like this. No, it's not even like average play calling. It's like a lot worse. It's like a lot worse. So Show says, so please explain to me how the playoffs could play out. Like, what are your chances of us getting first seed? What do you need? Well, to get first seed, you need San Francisco to lose a game. That's not going to happen. San Francisco's got to lose a game. That's 100% not going to happen. Yeah. Second seed, they have to win out. Really, I think they have to win out, to be honest. And I don't think they'll even get second seed. So the Eagles could be facing Detroit in the playoffs. Probably. Detroit could be a big one for the Eagles to be facing. That's pretty much how it's going right now. God, this is crazy. I mean, at the end of the day, like I mean, the Eagles deserve all the bullshit that they can get from other rival fans, but at the end of the day, it's laugh now, cry later. Like I think this is the most no life shit I've ever seen. It's bad, like really bad. All the people that are pissing everybody off, trust me, they'll be crying. They'll be crying weeks to come. They'll be crying. They'll be checked out. Won't even be around anymore. Rob said the plays are taking so long to develop that I believe in the line will start of injuries. And I'm 1,000% sure Kelsey retires. Yeah, probably. Because if Kelsey sees that there is somewhat of a downfall at this point where like this team is too lost to go through too much change for him to really stay here, that could be a big problem. So, and yeah, I mean the route combinations are bad. They're really bad. So Chris, been a member for 3 months. What's going on, man? He says Nick just has to humble himself, which he hasn't done yet. He hasn't done yet. All right. Who's talking about someone's family? Who is that? Because who said that shit? Because I will fucking boot them out of here in 2 seconds. Let me know. I don't know what's going on. If it says other teams' fans are obsessed with the Eagles this year, it's crazy extent. I live in Pittsburgh, and Steelers fans don't want to hear it when we don't think about them ever. Dev said, "Hey Joey, we deserve to be laughed at. I said to myself, I had no chance being Dallas last week. I didn't feel like talking to the Cowboy fans. No, I didn't. I didn't have us winning the game either. I mean, I said a big turnaround. Did they have a chance? Sure, but not really. There's people out there that said that it was going to be a easy game or a game that was going to be relevant, but Travis, I suspect Eagles don't use a lot of motion on offense because their analytics say it results in more penalties, but motion helps quarterbacks diagnose coverages and cause confusion. I mean, if that's what analytics are doing because of the motion plays, then that's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Oh, it's that kid? All right, well, he's going to be gone. He's going to be gone. None of that personal shit. Talk football, but none of that personal shit. So he's blocked. So he's gone. See you later. See you later. I won't tolerate that shit. Have respect. That's all I gotta say. Just have respect for people. Fucking moron. See, people are disrespectful like that. I don't do that shit. It's not good. Like at the end of the day, dude, like trolling is trolling, but like don't get all personal and talk about somebody's fucking parents and shit. Seriously. It's not cool. Not cool. This is thank you for your support. And it says, Paul, you say Jalen ball out of the pocket last year, throwing down the middle of the field. The percent between the numbers throws is so low. That says, yeah, I don't play that personal shit. I got you. I got you. You know I got you. What's going on, let's say? I've seen you. I've seen you. Sorry, I'm picking the comments that, are actual questions. So That's how that's going today. Unfortunately. Show says, so the Ravens won't beat the 49ers? I don't know. That's going to be their toughest game on the schedule. So that's their toughest remaining team on the schedule. But that's how that goes. But any given Sunday. What's going on, Nina? What's going on? Hope you're having a good night. Infinite Pasha says it's not a Hurts problem, really, though. It's a BrianJohnson problem. I mean, what do I know? Hope I'm right. I mean, I feel like because of the scheme and because they're afraid of Hurts to get injured. I'm not handicapping Hurts, but I feel like it's definitely affecting him. There's no doubt. I think the play calling is definitely making him more robotic than being a quarterback. I think it's definitely hurt him, no doubt. I think it has. Marcus, what's going on, man? Hope you're having a good night. Good night tonight. Harris says, how possible is to get Bill for head coach next year? Yeah, I heard some Eagle fans talking about Bill Belichick. I don't know. I'm not really ready to talk about shit like that until like there's obviously consideration that our head coach is fired and things are happening like that. So, but we'll see. You know what I mean? We'll see. What if Hurt starts calling his own plays? Well, he kind of has been. Like he audibles a lot. I mean, he's had a lot of plays he didn't like. He's audibled out. I mean, he's got the control to do that, but I don't know how much he could do that throughout the game. Yeah, Belichick would be good for the Chargers. Yeah, I don't see why not. There's a good roster over there. Obviously, some holes, like a few holes here and there, but there's a good roster over there. Chris says, look up Bill's record before Brady. Infinite says, thank you. By the way, Joey, been watching your content for a while as a newer football fan and learning a lot. I appreciate it, man. I mean, I don't know what you're learning here, but if I'm helping in any way possible, I appreciate it. Thanks says, how do you blow us out and still talk shit to the team you blew out? I don't know. Eric says they won't win anything. I don't think we would go there. I don't know. Getting to the playoffs is one thing. Winning a playoff game in an atmosphere, you're not going to have a home game, which I don't think this team deserves. This team does not deserve a home game in the playoffs. They really don't. They don't. I want them to play a tough game in a tough spot. Eagles fan says Dan Quinn to the Chargers reunite with Kellen Moore. I don't know if that's a good sign or a bad sign. I don't know. Dan Quinn might be a head coach next year too. Might. I mean, I don't know. Show says Bill to the Raiders to work for Tom Brady would be the most ironic storybook ending cover. Yeah. Eagles to be 5 seed, Dallas 2, San Francisco 1. I mean, Dallas is gonna have probably another game against San Francisco, most likely. I mean, just give it time. I mean, literally at the end of the day, give it time. Like all they care about is winning the division, and that's it. Because guarantee you, like, we'll see what happens, but I'm just saying. Because half of these guys disappear for weeks and they're laughing now, but give it time. Enjoy it while it lasts. Enjoy it. Let's see here. How long is Maddox out for? It pretty much. There's a good chance he can come back during the playoffs, but they would have to get deep into the playoffs for him to come back. Let him talk. Let him talk. Let him talk. But hey, I'm out of here. And yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. Shakedown tomorrow. And then we'll do a live play-by-play on Monday. Sorry. Sunday, I'm probably not going to do much of anything. I'm probably not doing any streaming Monday. I'm probably just going to get some stuff done around the house, and I'm probably going to take a day off on Sunday. I'll have the football games on, but I'm probably going to do some other stuff. So other than that, that's it. We'll see what happens. It is what it is, but it's embarrassing. I mean, this week hasn't really made myself feel better about anything, but it is what it is. It's what it is. But all right, you guys enjoy the rest of your night. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.